In today's news, XRP has started rallying in the past few days following many bullish developments. The RLUSD Ripple stablecoin announcement made recently from the Ripple Swell event, numerous XRP ETFs being filed by the likes of Wallstreet, and then most importantly, the SEC Ripple lawsuit, which has once again taken a very interesting turn. The reason why is because today was meant to be the deadline for the SEC to file their Form C to effectively clarify their reason behind their appeal, what exactly it is that they're trying to appeal now in this Ripple case. As Moon Lambo states here, the SEC had 1 hour to file their Form C in regard to their appeal of the Judge Torres' decision, and he claimed that if they do not file before the deadline, their appeal will be dismissed. Thus, they would be forced to accept Judge Torres' decision of XRP, and XRP would win their lawsuit, which of course would be very, very bullish news. Now, the SEC did miss that deadline. So what does that mean from here? Well, it's important to note that there are multiple reasons why their appeal is not showing up in the dockets, from delays in the court system, so just a lag between the document being filed and when it appears in the public docket. It could have been filed under seal, so it's not publicly accessible just yet, or they could have just been an error in the filing. Alternatively, the SEC could have just lied to stall for time. Really, anything is possible. It's really hard to say. In the words of Jeremy Hogan here, he is trying to figure out somehow if we got the time frame wrong, and seemingly, as it turns out, we did. Fox Business journalist Elena Terrett here shows us that according to this document filed in the Second Circuit, the SEC notice of appeal was filed on the 2nd but not docketed until the 4th. So technically speaking, the real deadline is tomorrow, October 18th. The reason why XRP is rallying right now, in my opinion, is in anticipation that the SEC may miss that deadline, and if they do miss that deadline, then the appeal will be dismissed. Jeremy Hogan even states that he is going to buy another 10,000 XRP just in case. Now, in my opinion, the chance that the SEC misses this deadline is slim to none. This is Gary Gensler we're talking about after all. And now, as I am editing this video, Elena Terrett has heard back from the SEC this morning, and according to a spokesperson, the appeal is proceeding normally and the documents will be filed publicly soon. Guess it's time for round 250 in this boxing fight between Ripple and the SEC. And even though Ripple are definitely winning, it's infuriating how the SEC refuses to give up despite having a broken arm and busted eye. As Crypto Law puts it here, apart from the chaos on the filing, Gary Gensler should give up on this appeal. The higher this case goes, the closer it gets to the Supreme Court of the United States, the more dangerous Gensler's failed legacy becomes for the SEC's authority. This is a rogue chairman actively wrecking an agency the SEC is done for, and that's pretty evident because last month Congress came together, banded together, urging the SEC to rescind SAB 121 after the Biden-Harris administration vetoed bipartisan consensus against it, and the SEC has seemingly done nothing about it. Republican Mike Flood here says Gary Gensler must be held accountable. We need innovation, not rogue regulators. And then, as Ripple President Monica Long stated here on Bloomberg, Gary Gensler has been on a warpath for years in crypto. Take a listen.
How much uncertainty is there left? Because when I think across the landscape of uncertainties, the list is long. It ranges from stablecoins to exchanges. What concerns you the most?
So looking globally, many countries are getting it right, and they're leading the way. So take Brazil, Singapore, Hong Kong, UK, Europe. Europe created a framework called MiCA that brought together 27 different states to create a clear framework of how to regulate crypto assets and their use cases. In the US, you see a lot of chaos and confusion. So we would really like to see more leadership out of our policymakers in Congress. You have regulators like the CFTC who are really leaning in to understand and take a position on some of these, the technology and some of their use cases, publishing a paper on DeFi. And then on the other side, you have the SEC who has taken, frankly, Chair Gary Gensler has just been on a warpath for a number of years now with just through enforcement actions and not really providing any regulatory clarity.
I hear warpath and I think to myself, at the same time, over the last year, we've seen ETF products allowed in the US for Ether and for Bitcoin. So it doesn't necessarily, to me, look like an administration or an SEC that has been really hostile to crypto. What would you say to somebody who comes back at you with that argument?
We have the court system to thank for that. The SEC really was painted into a corner there. And we have seen U.S. courts through a number of cases, in the case of Grayscale's case on the ETF, providing a way forward. In the case of SEC versus Ripple, again, last year, the U.S. courts ruled that XRP is not a security. So that's good. That creates clarity for our industry and for our business.
See, now this interview here is one reason why I think that Gary Gensler is not going to stop short now. Lord knows I would love for him to just take a hike and to move on, because he's lost already. That is pretty apparent in my opinion. However, we have breaking news here from blockchaindaily.news here that states that CME Group, therefore Wallstreet confirmed XRP ETFs are moving closer to a reality. Thus, the lawsuit is close to an end. Thus, the SEC's reign of terror is almost behind us, which is very big news. And this is why I am bullish on XRP, why I'm bullish in anticipation for the imminent crypto bull run, which is why I created a free to join Discord server. 400 of us right now are working towards achieving financial freedom, spreading our knowledge in order to make as much money as possible in this bull cycle. So if you want to join, click the link in the description below, because now, if you look at this article here from Blockchain Daily, Tim McCaw, the Senior Managing Director, Global Head of Equity and Foreign Exchange of Product of CME Group, very big there, stated, "I don't think it's accidental that some of our largest open interest days and volume-based futures have happened after the advent of the ETFs, because this ecosystem is really accelerating. This is apparent after the successful launch of the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, and now the growing demand for XRP ETFs following Canary Capital and Bitwise, and even more recently, Grayscale filing for XRP ETFs. Once more though, it is regulatory clarity that we are awaiting for, the decisive verdict and victory for XRP in this lawsuit, and regulatory frameworks that will allow the adoption of crypto, and even of course the RLUSD Ripple stablecoin. The RLUSD is awaiting regulations from the NYDFS as mentioned in yesterday's Ripple Swell event, and Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse even stated here that RLUSD is set to become the gold standard for enterprise-grade stablecoins. Once more leaning into that XRP is the gold standard because the RLUSD actually relies on XRP for gas fees. Ultimately, what we are witnessing, or what we are about to witness right now for all of us early crypto investors, the ones who got in before the institutions, is the great wealth transfer. In this document here posted by Cyprus from the DL Research, they state that we are already beginning to see asset managers look at DeFi and realize there is an opportunity there, not just in terms of utility, but cost as well, which is a huge potential catalyst. This is very, very big news. The widespread adoption of DeFi, of XRP, for example, will increase its value. That is just simple supply and demand. And XRP's demand is only going to continue to rise and increase from here in the weeks and months and years to go on, especially because XRP is getting involved in politics, from XRP being endorsed to the likes of Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, but also political candidates who are talking about XRP. XRP's knight in shining armor, John Deaton here, is running for senator in Massachusetts against the biggest tyrant there is in anti-crypto, Elizabeth Warren, where, if you pay attention to the snippet of this interview, this debate here, John Deaton doesn't only win and embarrass her, in my opinion, but also he name drops XRP.
I can't help it. Let me finish, please. Let me finish. I can't help it when she goes to ban an entire industry that they're motivated against her because they see a viable candidate. But listen, the rules are already there. Senator Warren, you notice she didn't answer the question about those rape victims. You know, you can't call yourself a absolute warrior for women if you only select the women you're willing to protect.
You know, I really don't understand this charge, and I don't know what you're talking about here. I have pushed on the banks and tried to get more regulation over the banks and tried to hold the banks accountable every single time they step out of line. Now, I get it. They're big and they're powerful. Of course, I don't take my money from the banking industry. I take my money from the people who want to support this campaign. What I don't hear you talking about is what exactly do the crypto folks expect to get by funding 90%
You want to know
of your
something?
campaign?
Everyone out there, I sued the government because the SEC had done something really bad to small retail investors, and a lifelong Democratic judge agreed with me. I did it all pro bono, and this token XRP was called legal because of my work. I won Lawyer of the Year, Consumer Advocate of the Year, Defender of Freedom Award because I did it for free. And guess what? Last week, that crypto billionaire that she's talking about that has supported me just donated millions of this XRP token to Vice President Harris' campaign. If I didn't do what I did, sue the SEC on behalf of small retail investors, that donation to your candidate of choice, Senator, would not have happened. So, Madam Vice President, if you're watching, you're welcome.
Wall Street and massive financial institutions seem eager now to get this lawsuit over and done with and to have access to XRP through the form of the ETFs. Hopefully we will see these developments bear fruit in the coming weeks leading up to this US election, a very, very big pivotal moment, potentially leading to a decisive and explosive XRP price surge. But of course, you've got to do your own research, or better still, come chill chat and learn more in the video Discord server. Again, the link below. But remember, don't look short term, think long term, and I'll see you in the next one.